Hi, Chef David Payne here with Char-Broil, here to introduce the new Char-Broil Pinch of Sizzle line of brines, marinades, rubs, and sauces. Today we're going to be preparing a Memphis-style spare rib. So let's head to the kitchen and get started. Now we're going to take our St. Louis-style rib and we're going to go ahead and prep it for the smoker with our Memphis-style seasoning. But first we're going to start out by flipping it over, spraying it with just a little bit of lemon juice. I found this works real nice to getting the seasoning to adhere to the ribs, as well as the lemon juice will have a tendency from the acidity to get and penetrate into the meat deeper and help the seasoning get into the meat deeper through the marinating process before we go to the smoker with it. So we'll go ahead and spray both sides with a little bit of lemon juice. Then we're going to go ahead and hit it with our seasoning. I like starting by seasoning on the back side of the rib first, with the understanding that I want the front side to have a deeper, heavier coat where the meat is. So if a little bit comes off the back, I'm okay with that. The key to a rub is it's very important that you do just that. You rub it into the actual ribs or the meat that you're preparing. It's very important that those flavors penetrate and get into the meat. So we want to make sure we take the time to truly rub the seasoning into the meat. And be generous with it. Don't be afraid to put a lot on there. Flavor's a good thing. Okay. Get a nice even coat. We'll go ahead and turn the rib over. Do the same thing on the front side. Again, nice, even, heavy coat. This is our Charbroil Memphis rub. Our Memphis rub is spicier than our Kansas City style rub, true to the Memphis style of barbecue. What makes Memphis really different from Kansas City style barbecue is going to be the fact that it's a dry rubbed product that we do not add additional sauce to. Traditional Memphis style ribs are served with the sauce on the side. We don't put the sauce in the actual ribs or in the cooking process on the smoker. Where a Kansas City style rib, we will. The basting of the sauce will be part of the process. But we'll get more into that when we go out to our smoker here a little bit later today. Okay, but for now, our ribs have a nice seasoning on it. We're going to go ahead and take our ribs. We're going to take them to the refrigerator, let them rest for at least 4 or 5 hours. You want to let that seasoning work on the meat. Otherwise, you're fine to let it go overnight as well, and then prepare them the next day. For our purposes today, we'll go ahead and cover them with plastic, put them in the refrigerator. A few hours later, we'll go to the smoker with them so the meat has a tendency to absorb some of those flavors from our Charbroil Memphis rub. I'm going to go ahead and add my ribs to the smoker. We're going to start out by putting our Memphis-style St. Louis ribs on the smoker. Okay, I always start out with the rib side down. You don't want to leave your smoker open too long. Again, you got a nice smoke going, which is great. I'm going to add a nice bark to the ribs as they cook. I'm going to put them on the smoker. Please understand the heat will be hotter on this end of the smoker, closer to your firebox. It'll get cooler on this end. I'm going to start out down here since the smoker's getting a little bit hot, and we can rotate them down towards the other end to get more heat on the ribs as we need to. I'd always like to start out slower versus fast. Again, we're talking about true smoking and barbecuing, which is all about slow cooking. It's slow and taking our time. These are going to take about 4 hours on this smoker. And what we're going to do is we're going to mop these about every 15 minutes to a half hour with our red mop sauce, our Charbroil red mop sauce, which will add additional moisture to the product. It'll also add additional tenderness. It's a vinegar-based sauce like your true Carolina mop sauces would be, with a little bit of twang, a little bit of spice to them, to again further enhance the flavors in the meat, but also to further tenderize the meats in the cooking process. Okay? So at this time, it looks like we're all set. We just want to let those sit and smoke. The key is not to over-handle the smoker. You really don't want to be opening the smoker every 5 minutes like you would on a grill to check how your steaks are doing or how your burgers are coming out. It's very important to trust the process and just monitor your temperature off your thermostat, and just keep an eye on your vents, as we had talked about earlier, to control your heat. Like I said, I'm running a little bit hot right now at 250, so I'm going to, again, continue to close this up a little bit to bring the temperature down. And we'll go ahead and let those just smoke for a while. After we get a good little outside crust on them is when I really hit them with the first mop sauce. I want that seasoning to really penetrate into the meat at this point, with the understanding we'll add the mop sauce here in about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so we'll come back and take a look at these in a little while. We are back in the kitchen with our St. Louis or spare ribs that we cut into St. Louis ribs that we went ahead and trimmed. We cleaned them up. We took the membrane off the back. We went ahead and sprayed them with our lemon juice. We seasoned them with our Char-Broil Memphis seasoning rub, and then we went ahead and mopped them with our Charbroil red mop sauce about every 15 minutes to half hour on the Charbroil red grill, which we did add the smoker chips to give it that natural smoke flavor.